Right, hello everybody, thanks for joining me. As you can see, I'm out on Bobby again, especially for Lanes Explorer, who said in a comment on my last video that he'd like to see me out on Bobby when the weather was good over the winter. So here you are, Peter. I'm just going to take a ride over to what's called the Boath Road to see if we can get a good view of the mist over the Cromarty Firth. As you can see, we've got low cloud coming in up the valley, and it's actually getting a bit thicker now. It died back a little bit, but it's going back up the valley, so I don't know whether we'll get a view or not, but we'll go and have a look. And since I'm mentioning Lanes Explorer, I suppose most of you will already know about his channel, but for anybody that doesn't, you should go and check it out. He does some really wonderful rides around Cumbria and Lancashire. He's got a very relaxed style, and it's very easy to watch and very enjoyable. So if you haven't done already, go and check him out. And since I'm mentioning people, I have to give a shout out to Ian Hughes, because he was the first motor vlogger to subscribe to my channel, and gave me quite a bit of encouragement, I have to say. So thanks, Ian. And again, if you haven't already checked out Ian's channel, go and have a look. I'll put links to Lanes Explorer and Ian in the description below. Ian's done some great videos of his trips around the Lake District and Cumbria, and also his trips into Wales. They're well worth watching. Some fantastic scenery, and again, he's got a nice relaxed style, very enjoyable to watch. And I also have to thank Lanes Explorer again, because he gave me a mention in one of his recent videos, and a few of you came over and had a look and subscribed to my channel after that, so thank you again, Peter. That's very much appreciated. And thanks to those of you who came over and had a look and subscribed. And of course, I couldn't leave out Mr. Tame, could I? Who again gave me another mention. So I'm sure all of you know who Mr. Tame is. Oh dear, can hardly see a thing. Right, we're heading down the dip to what's called New Bridge now. And in the winter, this road is always wet, covered in salt, and often covered in ice. And I tell you, I wouldn't like to. There's a few cottages in this dip. There's one on the right there. There's another one on the left here, and there's some people who've got a yurt just back there. They've been living in a yurt there for a couple of years, I think, and it is absolutely freezing in this dip in the winter. It never gets any sunlight down here. So I can't imagine what living in a yurt in this place is like. Right, we're gonna turn right here and head up the Boath Road, so called because at the top you get to Boath. Hopefully we'll get above the clouds. Give you a bit more useless information. I lived up this road when I first came up here. So I stayed in the cottages on the right here. Oh, the sun's poking through now. And we're above it. I'll give you a wipe just in case. Now if the sky was, if it was clear, you'd be able to see right across that way to our place. It's the other side of that mist, and slightly higher than we are now. Well, this will be the partridges. Off you go, wee fellas. I'm surprised there's any left after the shooting that was going on a couple of weeks ago. And here we are at the end of the road. Now, when I first came here in the 1970s, the public road extended beyond here. You could actually drive all the way up to Lochmorry, the bottom of Lochmorry, which is about a mile that way. So it's a pity we can't go to the bottom of Lochmorry, because it's there's some nice views there. But I'd get shouted at if I tried to do that on the bike, so I'm not going to do that. but one of these days I'll do a ride through on the mountain bike. I might do the trip right through, right round Kildamore and back down this way and across to the castle. Oof. Now, let's see if the mist has cleared a bit. There used to be a telephone box here, it's gone now. And if I needed to make a phone call when I was staying at the cottage down the road here, if I needed to make a phone call, that's where I would have to go. Not like these days when everybody's got a phone in their pocket. Back then you were lucky if you had a phone in your house, never mind one that you'd carry around in your pocket. Well, the mist has died back a little bit, but not enough for us to get a view of the Cromarty Firth, I'm afraid. So that'll have to wait for another day. But it was worth taking a ride up to Boath. Well, that's it, Bobby. You've got 1101 miles now. I promise I'll give you an oil change before I take you out again. And talking about taking Bobby out again, things might be changing, because one of my previous customers got in touch during the week and asked if it would be possible for me to take them back on again. Now I was I have been slowly winding my business down with a view to retirement, so I'm kind of semi-retired. I have been for the last 12 months or so, maybe a bit longer actually, more like 2 years if I think about it. So I haven't been looking for new customers, and as existing customers have retired or moved on elsewhere, I've just kind of let the business wind down. So it was a bit of a surprise to get an email asking if this particular customer could come back, and the biggest surprise about it is they're in Cornwall. Excuse me. They're one of my customers from Cornwall. Until they got in touch, I've had no customers in England for at least 2 years, probably a bit longer. So for my furthest away customer to suddenly get in touch and say, can I take them on again, was a bit of a shock. So I've just been getting used to the idea over the last few days. I haven't said yes yet, but I think I'm probably going to. And it will entail me travelling to Cornwall in the next month or two. So it's going to be a trip to Cornwall in winter. So I don't 100% know for sure that it's going to happen. I think it's fairly likely that it's going to happen, but I'm not saying it's going to happen for 100% certainty. So the question is, if it does happen, which bike do I take? I've got a choice of three. I've got the K1600, which is the bike I would normally have used. I've got the Deauville, Daffy the Deauville. It does look like this is clearing a bit actually. I'm going to park up just around the corner here. I'll wait for a few minutes, see if it goes a bit further down. Yeah, so I've got Daffy the Deauville, and let's find an over car park. Here we go. This car park is for the path that takes you to the Fires Monument. And that's a story for another day. But the Fires Monument is on top of the hills just above Everton. And you can walk to it from here. It's a few miles. Well, it does get quite steep. I'm not sure exactly how far it is. Does it say on the sign there? It might do. There we go. It does say 2 miles. So it's not too bad. There's other ways to get up there as well, but this is the popular route. Yeah, so where was I? Right, so if I have to make this trip to Cornwall, I've got the K1600, I've got Lady Daphne, or I've got Bobby. So the question is, which one do I use? There's pros and cons with each of them. So I think the one I'm least likely to use is Daffy. The reason being, I haven't had her long enough to know how reliable she is. It's a long trip, especially the way I would go, because I will be going probably down the west coast of Scotland, and either through the Lake District or over to the Pennines and down through the Dales and then across to Wales, round the coast of North Wales. Well, not so much of the coast, but over to the west coast of Wales, and then down through the Wye Valley, across, and then down across the north coast of Devon, Somerset, Devon, and into Cornwall. So the Deauville, I really would struggle to trust it to go that far until I get to know a bit more about it. I've not had it long enough to, because it's already done 30-odd thousand miles and it's quite old. It would be too much of a chance to take. So the choice is between the K1600 and Bobby. And I have to say, personally, I'm very tempted to take Bobby because it'll be fun. The downside of taking Bobby is there's no protection on, there's no rider protection on there, no screen, no fairing, no heated grips, no heated seat. So we'll be well and truly out in the elements on Bobby. Whereas the K1600 has got all of those things. And the downside of the K1600, the big downside is it's a big heavy bike and I'm getting old and frail. So because it's getting increasingly hard to ride the K-Stick 1600. It's fine on the open road, but once you get into town and you've got to deal with traffic, then it becomes really hard work. And of course, the other downside with the K1600 is it uses quite a bit more juice than Bobby. The K1600 does between 50 and 55 to the gallon. Bobby does over 90. So that's a big consideration with the price of fuel. So I am, if I have to go, I'm pretty much certain I'm going to have to go on Bobby. I would prefer to go on Bobby. I'll just have to do a bit of work. One of the biggest things I need to do is to put some spotlights on. I've got some spotlights. I'll just have to get them mounted because the lights on Bobby are nowhere near good enough to be riding around in the dark at this time of the year, and I'll be doing a lot of miles in the dark given how short the days are. So the spotlights will have to go on. I've got heated gloves, so I'm not too worried about the heated grips. So I can cope with that. And as far as not having the screen and the lower body protection, I won't be going that fast on Bobby anyway, so I don't suppose it matters. It would be nice to have it, but I'll cope without. So that's what I'm thinking. If any of you have got any thoughts on what I should do, what you'd like to see me do, because I will record it obviously, and this will be the first trip I do where I'll be gibbering away while I'm doing it. Not all the time obviously. Gibbering away for 1,000 miles. I'll be talking absolute rubbish by the time I've finished. So let me know, what would you like to see me do it on? I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say if you say anything. But I'm interested to hear anybody else's thoughts if you've got any. It does look like this mist is burning back a little bit, doesn't it? So we'll go a little bit further down and see what it's doing. It's definitely clearing, but right, we're back on the street. Okay, well the DJI is just about out of battery and I haven't bothered to hook up the handlebar bag with the power pack in it, because I didn't think I was going to be out this long, to be honest. But the helmet camera will keep going, so Yeah, I'm getting the warning message on the camera now. I'm trying to keep the lenses clear so you can get a good view of the colours on these trees. Quite amazing. So I hope it's coming through. There used to be a lot more trees on this road. Unfortunately, quite a few have blown down over the years with all the storms that we've had. A lot of them getting quite old now. So it's not as spectacular as it used to be. Still looks pretty amazing when the sun hits it though. Still a bit too misty at the moment. So all these gaps are where the trees have gone. Camera might just about make it. Look at those colours though. There's the most recent tree to have gone. That was last year. Oh, and the camera's died. The DJI has died. Oh well. Okay, I'm going to sign off now, folks. I hope you enjoyed that little trip up the Boath Road. Thanks for subscribing if you have done. Welcome along to all you new subscribers. I'm at 80 subscribers now, so 20 to go, and you'll be getting a look at my project bike. I'll just stop in this lay-by, have a quick look back. It's a pity the DJI cameras died, but okay, that's it, I'm off home. Yeah, so thanks for subscribing if you have done. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll speak to you on the next one. Bye for now.